So we are live.
I'm sharing the agenda now. Okay.
Julian came in. Julian's in.
Okay.
Under attendees. He's one of my applicants.
Okay.
Are we ready?
Can everyone see the agenda now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, there it is.
I think we're good, Joan. Whenever you're ready.
I'm ready. Good evening. The Tuesday, March 16th, 2021 meeting of the Riverbank Planning Commission is now open. May we have a roll call, please?
Oh, Janet. Okay, I'll call roll chair.
Okay.
Okay. Chair Joan Stewart.
Here.
Vice Chair Steve Link.
Here.
Commissioner John Dinan.
Here.
Commissioner Natasha Basso.
Here.
Commissioner Mallory Fenrich.
Here.
And alternate Commissioner Benjamin Rubin.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any Planning Commission member or staff who has a direct conflict of interest on any scheduled agenda item to be considered is to declare their conflict at this time. Hearing none, we'll move to public comments. At this time, members of the public may comment on any item not appearing on the agenda and within the subject matter jurisdiction of the Planning Commission Board. Individual comments will be limited to a maximum of 5 minutes per person, and each person may speak once during this time. Time cannot be yielded to another person. Under state law, matters presented during the public comment period cannot be discussed or acted upon. For record purposes, please state your name and city of residence. Please make your comments directly to the Planning Commission Board. Moving to the consent calendar. All items on the consent calendar are to be acted upon by a single action of the Planning Commission Board unless otherwise requested by an individual Planning Commission member or a member of the public for special consideration. Otherwise, the recommendations of the staff will be accepted and acted upon by motion of the Planning Commission Board. The consent calendar. 2.1, posting of the agenda for the March 16th Planning Commission meeting. Item 2.2, approval of the March 16th, 2021 agenda. And item 2.3, approval of the minutes of the September 1st, 2020 Planning Commission meeting. May we have a motion, please?
This is Commissioner Dinan. So moved that we approve the consent calendar.
And Commissioner will second that.
I'm sorry, who was second?
Commissioner Link will second.
Thank you.
Roll call vote, please.
Sorry, quick question. Donna, so the minutes aren't included because there was some technical challenges with them. So does that include 2.3 then, or it doesn't?
The motion
This should include 2.1 and 2.2. Is that what the recommendation was?
And approval of the minutes of the September 1st, 2020 meeting.
Yeah, the motion was to approve all three.
Okay.
What I'm saying, Don, is that the minutes weren't included for 2.3 because they're not. We're still working on them.
Okay. So
they weren't included in the packet.
Okay. So we would make the motion for item 2.1 and 2.2, leaving out 2.3.
Correct. Okay.
Okay, I'll modify my motion to approve items 2.1 and 2.2.
And I second his modification.
Thank you. Now may we have a roll call vote?
Thank you. Okay, Commissioner Dinan,
Yes.
Commissioner Basso,
Yes.
Commissioner Fenrich,
Yes.
Vice Chair Link,
Yes.
Chair Stewart.
Yes,
Motion passes 5-0.
thank you. We're now going to move to the public hearings. Item 3.1, tentative parcel map 01-2017, department file 17-0002, Hernandez. Donna or Gabriel, would you like to explain this to us?
Sure. So this request is to subdivide an existing parcel into 2 parcels, one of which has a residential unit and one of which is vacant. It's located at 3625 Kansas Avenue, APN 132-054-034, and is zoned single-family residential. The parcel map was approved by the Planning Commission on May 16th, and due to a misunderstanding with staff, the parcel map was allowed to expire. So I'll go ahead and do a presentation. Gabriel, if you want to take down the agenda, I will go ahead and pull up and share my screen here. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, can you see it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yay!
Yeah.
Success! Okay, so as I said, this is parcel map 01-2017, and the date is 2017 because that's when the map was originally approved. Okay. So the original parcel is just over 18,000 square feet. Parcel 1, which is vacant, which should be 9,900 square feet. Parcel 2 would be around 8,500 square feet. Whoops, that's not what I want. There we go. The project location is by Terminal and Kansas Ave. Here's an aerial view of the property. You can kind of see a line. Can you see my cursor when I do this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yay, right on. Okay, so there's a line right down here where there would be 2 separate parcels. This was the vacant one. This, of course, has the house on it. Excuse me. Here's a parcel map drawing of it. So the current general plan designation is low density residential, which is the use on the parcel number 2. And single family residential as well. So they're both consistent. The parcels need to meet minimum lot sizes of 6,000 square feet and a width of 60 feet, and both these parcels meet that requirement. The existing parcel 2, we made sure that there's a minimum side setback of 5 feet from parcel 1. And any existing, excuse me? Oh. Any existing accessory structures within 5 feet of the property lines have to be moved. The parcel mass is exempt pursuant to CEQA, which does allow an exemption for minor land divisions. And I'm going to go back a minute and I'm going to talk to you about something here on this photo. So if you look at this photo, right here where my cursor is an electric, or is a telephone pole with electric wires on it. And they come across the street in various configurations. It goes down the block to catch some of these houses, some over this way as well. So whenever we have a parcel map, the city engineer always requires that when there are improvements, that lines like these get undergrounded. Normally with a large subdivision, that's not a problem. You know, they have deep pockets to develop, and something like this to underground these utility wires may run around $50,000, which is substantial for a project this small. So when the applicant came to City Hall after they got their parcel map and was inquiring about undergrounding this pole and the utilities, could it be put off? There was a misunderstanding between staff and the engineer and the homeowner. And the engineer told the homeowner that the city would not allow any deferrals. Well, that's not the case. We do allow deferrals. For example, Lucky House got a deferral to the improvements that Caltrans wanted in front of their property. There have been other properties too that have gotten deferrals for work that needs to be done in the future. Sometimes it's as simple as you have to build a better trash enclosure in 1 year's time, or you have to move a shed within 60 days. So we do defer things. And so there was a misunderstanding. And because of the cost involved with this misunderstanding, the property owner let the map expire. Well, we wanted to correct that, so we're bringing this back in front of you. I did route the map to the city engineer. He had absolutely no comments because it was one that he approved before. So what we'd like to do is hopefully ask for an approval for this parcel map. And when it comes to this pole right here and this electrical undergrounding, we'd like to have that deferred until the city has a project over here. Maybe we're going to put a new sewer line in, or somebody's going to buy up these houses and build apartments. So when there's a larger project, either city or private wise, that would disturb this street, we would require these electrical facilities to be undergrounded. And then the person in this home who's the applicant for this parcel map, they would be required to pay a fair share, not burden the whole expense themselves. So for that reason, we are asking or deciding that if this is approved, we will go ahead and do a deferral for this property owner.
Makes sense. Thank you. Do we have any questions or comments about this from commissioner members?
Yeah, Madam Chair, I have a question for staff. Do we know what the applicant intends to do with the new parcel? Are they going to build a single family residence on it or sell it?
I believe that's correct, that the intent is to build a second house.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
No.
Okay, let's open a public hearing. Are there any comments or questions from the public? Nothing? We close the public hearing and call for a motion.
This is Commissioner.
This is Commissioner Basso.
Yes, ma'am.
This is Commissioner Basso. I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 2021-004 to approve the tentative parcel map.
And I second the motion. This is Mallory Fenrich.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, shall we move to item 3.2?
We have to vote.
Need a roll call.
So let me give you a roll call here. I lost my list. There we go. Okay. Commissioner Dinan?
Yes.
Commissioner Basso?
Yes.
Commissioner Fenrich?
Yes.
Vice Chair Link?
Yes.
Chair Stewart?
Yes,
Thank you. Motion passes 5-0.
thank you. Moving to item 3.2, Architecture and Site Plan Review 01-2021, Department File 21-0002, Bruin Heights.
That will be, Gabrielle will be presenting that tonight.
Thank you.
Gabrielle, are you there? There you are.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. I
speaking,
just
but
wanted to make sure you hadn't left the room.
no, I was speaking, but I was on mute. But yeah, sorry. Bear with me a moment. I'm uploading the PowerPoint. Okay, and I'll share with you. So yes, this is for Bruin Heights, Architecture and Site Plan Review 01-2021. The applicant, DR Horton CA3, is requesting the Planning Commission review and approve Architecture Site Plan Review 01-2021. The project consists of 51 single-family units, dual use basin and internal streets, located at 6272 Central Avenue. This is the assessor's map. This is located on the northeast corner of Central Avenue and California Avenue.
Are you sharing?
Oh,
I'm not seeing it.
No? Okay, sorry about that. I thought I was sharing. Okay, sorry about that. Let me go back. Okay, now can everyone see it now?
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, let me just go back to presentation mode. There it is. So there's the assessor's map of the property. It's a northeast corner of Central Avenue and California Avenue. And here's an aerial view of the subject property as well. To the west is Riverbank High School. South is ranchettes and some residential parcels. That's unincorporated area. Southwest is city of Riverbank. North and to the east are some more residential parcels. And all of these are north, northeast, and southwest are all city of Riverbank, but this is a unincorporated county area. The current project was previously approved as River Run. It was a tentative map 02-2016, which was approved in 2017 for 51 units. And these are the listing of other approvals. It was also included a general plan amendment, which allowed for the property to be rezoned from medium density residential to low density residential. And then it also was approved as a planned development zone where there is a flexible zoning standard, so they could have 5,000 square foot lots as long as they provide some additional amenities for the residential development. There was this development agreement approved in April of last year by the City Council. And this is the tentative map for the 51 units. And then there's a dual basin right here. And this covers the subject site, 51 units. And going into the architecture, the applicant is provided, DR Horton's providing 5 floor plan models. Each will have 3 elevation types. There are 4 total elevation types, which are Americano, mid-century, farmhouse, and craftsman. These are the elevations for the model N317, which will have a square footage total for each unit of 1,782 square feet. And this is the model for the N4115 unit. And they have 3 elevation types, Americana, farmhouse, and craftsman. These will be single story, 15 square feet. And the third model is for model N419, which is also has Americana, farmhouse, and craftsman. And the 12 square footage for these units will be 1,862 square feet. And then the 4th model, which is N424, will also be 2-story units of 2,554 square feet. And the elevation types, here they have them identified as Americana, farmhouse, and craftsman. And then this is a 5th model, N48, which is 2-story. These will be 2,184 square feet for each of the units. And there are 3 elevation types, Americana, farmhouse, and craftsman. And these are some renderings of some of the elevations. This is for the first model, 1-story N415 Americana. And then this is also another one of the N415 craftsman model. And the applicant's providing 14 different color schemes. So these are just some different examples. This is the N419 model farmhouse elevation type. And this is the N428 farmhouse elevation, 2-story. I think that's a repeat, so we could, that's the first one as well, Americana. And then for the environmental, the architectural site plan review of the dwelling units for an approved tentative map does not require and is not a project pursuant to CEQA California CEQA guidelines. Public notice for this hearing was published in the Riverbank News on March 3rd. 34 mailers were mailed out on March 3rd to residents, property owners, and businesses within 300 feet. Staff has received no public comments up until now. Staff recommends that the Planning Commission adopt resolution number 2021-005 to approve architecture site plan review number 01-2021 for 51 single-family units. And that concludes staff presentation. Staff is here to answer any questions, and also the applicant, I believe, is also here. Let me check real quick. Yes, representative for the applicant is also here to answer any questions as well.
Thank you, Gabriel. Do any commissioners have any questions or comments on this?
Madam Chair, I have a question and a comment. I have received input from an acquaintance who lives on the east side of Snedeker, which is outside of the city limits in unincorporated county territory, who has a concern about the future of OID providing irrigation services to the ranchette that she owns. And I just wanted to make sure that the developer and the city were aware of this, and looking at page 75 of the package you sent out, Gabrielle, which is titled the Oakdale Irrigation District Relocation Improvements, it looks like there's going to be some impact, and I just was hoping we would have the developer and the city commit to working closely with OID to make sure that those folks on the east side of Snedeker don't get impacted.
Thank you. Donna or Gabriel, either one of you have any information on this?
I can tell you what kind of information, well, I can tell you information about working with OID. The previous developer, the one who got the tentative map, was Kerry Pope, and he spent quite a few hours and days with OID working on the irrigation line there. It leaves the neighbor's property and goes about to the middle of the map. I think you already took the map down.
I can share it. I'll share it real quick.
Okay, if you got it handy real quick.
The assessor's map or the subdivision, Donna? Sorry.
The subdivision map.
Okay.
There you go. So on the right side of the map, there you go. Okay.
Sorry. Can you see it?
Right. Yeah. On the right side of the map is you can see there's an easement that had run down the backyards of 7 houses. Well, that got moved. So at the top there where OID has a lot B, they will have some facilities there for the, it's on the opposite side.
Oh, here? Okay.
Yeah, down a little bit further, a little more, right there.
There it is.
Okay, yes. So that's lot B. That's where the irrigation comes into the subdivision. And there will be some facilities at the back side of that lot. The front side of that lot will have some sort of landscaping there that will be maintained by the Community Facilities District 2016-01. So the pipes the irrigation pipe runs through that lot and then takes a left and goes down the street till it gets to California Ave, where it's in the street. And there were quite a bit of negotiations and discussions on how to handle the water that sometimes pools at that intersection of California and Central. So OID worked with Carrie Pope to get all this under control as far as the engineering goes and the piping goes. And our city engineer has reviewed it all and has accepted those improvements. Now, the timing of it, I believe they will, if any of you have been out to that intersection, they have been grading out there already and staking it. I don't know the exact timing of pushing that pipe through and whether or not that will be unavailable at the very beginning of the irrigation system, but maybe if we can go to the applicant, he might be able to answer that timing question.
Thank you. Okay, do we have any other commissioner comments or questions?
No questions. I think it's a good development, nice home options. So I think it's a good thing.
Have to agree. Anyone else? Okay, let's go ahead and open the public hearing for any comments or questions from the public on this.
I have not received any emails on it.
Okay, do you think it's safe to close the public hearing now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, public hearing is closed. Do we have a motion on this?
Yeah, Commissioner Link will make a motion for approving item 3.2, the Bruin Heights Plan 01-2021.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
This is
I'll
Commissioner.
second it. Oh, sorry.
Okay,
Do you want to
who's
go
the second?
second? Oh, I'll second it, Mallory
Okay,
Fenrick.
thank you.
Thank you. Roll call vote, please.
Yes. Commissioner Dinan,
Yes.
Commissioner Basso,
Yes.
Commissioner Fenrich,
Yes.
Vice Chair Link,
Yes.
and Chair Stewart.
Yes. Thank you.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, moving on to item 3.3, which is a development agreement amendment 06-2020 and a conditional use permit 03-2020, department file number 20-0027- terminal infusion.
Okay.
Okay,
I will go ahead and take it from here.
thank you.
Okay, so the project consists of an amendment to an existing development agreement. Let me share my screen here. Okay, where'd it go? There we go. Okay, so a development agreement amendment and a conditional use permit. So right now at the existing site at the end of Terminal Avenue, south of this, in the south part of the city, we have a business called Cannarise. And Cannarise is a cannabis distribution facility. They have a development agreement and a conditional use permit in what they're calling Suite 1. So what they would like to do is develop a Suite 2 within the footprint of the existing building and get a development agreement amendment and a conditional use permit for a second cannabis business in that Suite 2. And that business would be called Terminal Infusion. So there will be no exterior changes to the building. Right now, the building has almost all Cannarise in it, but attached to the building is a huge carport cover with a cement pad. And the applicant proposes bringing in like one of those Connex storage containers, 2 of them actually, to put underneath that canopy on the concrete pad that's all existing and conduct their business in there. So the applicant is applying to the state for a type N permit, which does not allow any extraction. So what they intend to do is bring the extraction material, a liquid with THC in it, to the site and utilize a machine that looks somewhat similar to like a soda machine. It has a foot pedal that kind of runs it. And they would be mixing this extract with a soft drink base. And this will all be done by hand until the business gets off the ground and is able to get some bigger equipment. And in the future, besides soft drinks, they may also be doing some edibles that would be sold at the dispensaries. So now there is no dispensary on this site, and there will be no dispensary on this site. There will be no manufacturing as far as extraction on this site. The products will just be brought to the site, mixed, and then distributed wholesale. There's existing parking, there's existing landscaping, and there's no signage proposed. And I think that was Gabby on the phone who's with Norma. I wonder if there's a problem. Should I stop? No? Everybody can hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't see a problem, Donna. I think
Okay.
that might be separate.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so here is the site plan of the project. It's a triangle-shaped piece of property. Right now, Canada Rise is in most of this building right here. Whoops, this right here, excuse me. Because this is Terminal Avenue right here. And this is the railroad tracks behind it. So this is Suite 1, which has Canada Rise. And then under this carport structure would be Suite 2, which would be Terminal Infusion. There's parking here. Plus they are also speaking with the landlord about getting additional parking. There could be parking back here as well. Calling me here. Okay, but it's not a comment, it's a staff member, excuse me. So then this is the site plan. Okay, I lost my train of thought there for a second. Here's the elevation. As I mentioned, here's the existing building, and then there's a carport on top of it. So when you have these big Connex boxes underneath here, you will not see it from the front. There's the facade that's not changing, and there's a fence here that's existing as well. So driving by on the street, this is the building that you'll see. And then this is from the backside. You'll see these Connex boxes in kind of a T shape underneath that carport.
Okay, now what are they going to be doing with these in these boxes?
They're like offices. They're actually being made in Texas and being shipped here. So when you walk into them, the front one will look like a reception area with a restroom in it. And then there would be some security. Then when you go to the second Connex box, that's where they will be doing the combining of the THC liquid extract with the soft drinks. And the back of the Connex box there, they would have storage for the bottled product.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I guess I should have moved to this one. Here's the floor plan with the restroom and the office space where they would be doing their work here. And then there would be storage areas in the back. These are very secure. They would only have the couple of doors here that's needed to enter and exit for fire purposes.
Okay, and they're trying to get additional parking. Does that mean that they would be having additional employees there?
They would have three new employees. So in the Canada Rise DA right now, it talks about an existing public benefit fee that they pay year 1, and year 2, and year 3. And they are actually nearing the end of their 3-year DA. So that's why staff decided that we would go ahead and add the amendment for terminal infusion to the existing DA, and then extend it. It would be extended 3 additional years that would cover both businesses.
Okay, thank you.
So the DA amendments, they're actually figuring out the very last of the details. Now we know that so right now they distribute products with Cannarise, and when they make their products in terminal infusion and are distributed by Cannarise, the city is not going to charge them a fee, because that would kind of be double taxing the product, first when it's made and then when it's delivered. And that didn't really seem fair. So the city manager and the business owner are discussing what the fee will be for the distribution of third-party products. So like what they're exactly doing right now, taking the bulk cannabis, putting it in smaller containers and taking it to dispensaries. And then they're talking also about what terminal infusion, when they manufacture their products, what sort of fee will the city charge them for that? They were very close. In fact, they might have, completed their negotiations, but because it was a little bit complicated trying to figure out these different areas, especially when you're not doing the work right now. So he doesn't really know, how popular this is going to be, how, hard and fast he's going to have to be running to keep up with the orders. So it's been a little bit difficult trying to pin down these numbers, but we will definitely have them pinned down by the time they make it to the city council. So when you're looking at approving a DA, you have to make findings. It needs to be consistent with the general plan. The building is in an area where it is consistent with the light industrial uses. It should not be detrimental to the health, safety, and general welfare of the city. We have not gotten any complaints concerning the existing cannabis business there. It should not affect the orderly development of the property values. Utilizing Zillow, the city has not been seeing any decrease in property values around cannabis sites. It needs to be consistent with the government code that regulates development agreements, including the public hearing process, which it is consistent. And it needs to contain a legal description of the property, which the existing DA does have that property description. As far as the conditional use permit for Suite 2, it's infusion only, no extraction. It talks about the hours of construction of the improvements that they make so they don't, bother the neighbors. It's looking at exterior lighting conditions for that new area to make sure it's safe. And there's also a hold harmless clause in there, which is standard for all our agreements. Any cannabis development agreement and use permit should be consistent with the guiding principle of our general plan that our city should be safe and healthy for all our residents. They do have a very extensive security plan for Cannarise, and they are adding this area into that plan, moving cameras, changing the lighting, maybe looking at additional interior fencing. We do not believe this existing facility or the expansion by bringing these containers underneath an existing canopy and on top of an existing concrete pad that will not have a significant effect on the environment, so qualifies for a CEQA exemption. So the recommendation is to adopt the resolution that recommends the city council adopt the ordinance to approve the development agreement amendment and adopt the second resolution to approve the conditional use permit specifically for terminal infusion. Do you have any questions?
Madam Chair, I've got a couple. Donna, are those boxes, are they on site already or are they still to be delivered?
They're still to be delivered. They're still in Texas because of COVID and the weather.
And are you familiar with these boxes? Are you comfortable that they sound kind of rinky-dink to me?
They're very secure, very sturdy. They'll probably outlast the building.
Okay, thank you.
Any questions or comments from other commissioners?
No questions.
Okay, I guess we'll open the public hearing. Does any member of the public have a question or would like to make some comments about this? No emails, no phone calls?
No, ma'am.
Okay, I guess we'll close the public hearing and call for a motion. Can we take the motions, two separate motions? First, the development agreement and then the conditional use permit?
Yes, ma'am.
This is Commissioner Dinan. I'll move approval of resolution 2021-006.
This is Commissioner Basso. I will second that.
Thank you. Roll call vote, please.
Thank you. Commissioner Dinan,
Yes.
Commissioner Basso,
Yes.
Commissioner Fenrich,
Yes.
Vice Chair Link,
Yes.
Chair Stewart.
Yes,
Motion passes 5-0.
thank you. Now can we address the conditional use permit?
This is Commissioner Dinan again. I'll move approval of resolution 2021-007.
I'll
I will
second it. Mallory Fenrich.
Thank you.
Okay, can we have a roll call vote?
Commissioner Dinan,
Yes.
Commissioner Basso,
Yes.
Commissioner Fenrich,
Yes.
Vice Chair Link,
Yes.
Chair Stewart.
Yes,
Motion passes 5-0.
thank you. Moving to item 3.4, which is a development agreement, 01-2021, Department File 21-0006, flavors. The public notice on this item was not complete, so we're going to open the public hearing.
I have no emails or phone calls.
Thank you. And now we'll close the public hearing. And now I need a motion to continue this item to the April 20th, 21 meeting.
I'll make a motion to continue the item, let's see here, item number 21-006, to the April 20th, 2021 meeting.
Great. We have a second.
Steve Link will second that.
Thank you. Roll call vote.
Commissioner Dinan,
Yes.
Commissioner Basso,
Yes.
Commissioner Fenrich,
Yes.
Vice Chair Link,
Yes.
Chair Stewart.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0. Thank you.
Okay, now we're going to move on to presentations. Item 4.1, GP and HG report, yearly presentation.
Tonight, Gabrielle will be presenting this item.
So yes, this is the regarding the 2020 Annual General Plan and Housing Element Report. Section 65-400, parenthesis A, parenthesis 2 of the Government Code requires each jurisdiction to prepare and submit an annual progress report on its general plan by April 1st of each year. And this information is used by the state to review and assess the city's assigned regional housing need allocation. And then also actions taken towards completion of the general plan and housing element programs and to ensure grant funding. The council approved report is submitted to the California Office of Planning and Research and the California Department of Housing and Community Development. The annual report does not require state approval by any agencies. Some of the examples of some of the grants that the city is able to obtain or use for its general plan or housing element are community development block grants, which fund local community development activities such as affordable housing, anti-poverty programs, and infrastructure development. The city did win SB Grant 2. The city applied and received the SB 2 grant in the amount of $160,000 for various services associated with working with the consultant to update the accessory dwelling unit section in the municipal code. Thanks to Donna for that. And then also the city also won the LEAP grant. This grant was in the amount of $150,000, which will be used to upgrade the city's permit software system. And here are some of the progress report highlights. After 2020, the city has achieved 10% of its very low income goal for the regional housing needs allocation. It has achieved 14% of the low income goal. And then it has achieved 27% of the above medium income goal. And then 25 building permits were issued in 2020. These were mostly for California Estates, which is along Claus, across from the Riverbank High School, and then Countryside 1. Some other progress report highlights: Program Land 3 section grants, Program Land 5 zoning amendments, Program ED4 job training program. And some of the housing element highlights are the city has made advanced on initiatives regarding accessory dwelling units. Also Program 2.1E regarding farm worker housing, Program 2.1G transitional supportive housing, Program 2.1H employee and farm worker housing. And this is related to the tiny house consultant that the city is working with to update the city's accessory dwelling unit section in the municipal code. And then that concludes the presentation. It'll be presented to the city council next week. Donna and myself are able to answer any questions.
Good job.
Wonderful job. Thanks, Gabriel.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to the Planning Commission comments. None. County referral? None.
None.
Staff comments, project updates.
Well, I did not have an item at the last two city council meetings, so I don't have much of an update there.
Okay.
I can let you know that Janet sends her apologies. It turns out that she locked herself out of the building, has been standing outside when we were meeting inside. And her clock was still set at 5:30 instead of 6:30 in her car.
Oh, poor Janet.
Yeah.
Well,
so at the The next city council meeting, though, Gabriel will be doing his presentation, and the city council will have a resolution to approve for us to submit the document to the to HCD. And then we also have we had a final map that I was working on for the Crossroads project, but that's been moved to the April 13th city council meeting. One other thing that I am working on that is kind of interesting is right now Crawford Road runs from Roselle to Oakdale Road to the edge of city limits where we annexed Crossroads West. So for the Crossroads West project, they had asked if they could change Crawford Road to Westgate Avenue or Westgate Lane, one of the two. And the reason for this is, well, part of it is the ranchettes outside of our city limits. Of course, they don't want a lot of traffic coming in through Crawford Road to the new houses or to the shopping center. So when we annexed the property in and approved the specific plan, Crawford was to end there. Oh, great. So Crawford was to end right there, and instead, have a turnaround for temporary, and then actually move upwards to the next properties up there. So instead of Crawford running in front of all these ranchettes, it would basically be running to the north through the edge of their backyards. So when that's going to happen in the future, you can't have two Crawford roads. The one to the south that's existing with the ranchettes, and the one to the north that would be a new road to circumvent the ranchettes. So they requested the name change, and whenever we name streets, we have to run them past 911 and 18 other agencies. Well, the comments came back that they would approve the Westgate name, but only if the city changes Crawford from city limits to Oakdale Road all the way to Roselle. They want the whole thing changed. They don't want a Westgate in a gap between two different Crawford roads. It would be very hard for the firemen and the ambulance drivers if there were two Crawford roads with a gap in the middle. So we took a look at the map, and Crawford Road does not have any houses or businesses that front it. We change it to Westgate, nobody will have to change their checks or their stationery. And so this item is going to the city council next week to see what they think about it. And that's the item that I have next week.
Wow.
So there'll be no Crawford Road any longer, is the
Well,
proposal?
it would just be in the county. There would be no Crawford Road within city limits.
I gotcha. Okay. So what runs through Crossroads currently would change to Westgate.
Correct.
Okay.
There's no houses that front on it, so there's no,
Okay.
no property problems.
Just a thoroughfare.
Very interesting. Thank
Yeah.
you, Bonnie.
You can see what the city council says.
It will be interesting. It's something they haven't had to deal with since I've started working here anyway.
No. Okay, well, it looks like that. If nobody has anything else, I think the meeting is closed. So thank you all.
Thank you very much, Joan.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Everybody.
Thank you.
Good night.
Right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.